Myron is a tether. So when
Tether,
I'm talking,
what is Candace Owens?
she's
She's
Caribbean.
from Connecticut.
She's first generation American. Her parents are not from here, and that's what I'm saying. We accept people and we don't know where they're from, and it furthers the thing. When you don't identify with certain kinds of blackness, then you're more willing to buy into the negative stereotypes. You have no attachment to it.
Okay, well, apart from that, Hodge twins, Brandon Tatum, like they Hodge
Byron,
twins is mixed,
me, oh, hello.
and
So
then Brandon Tatum is black.
there's always one, but it goes
But there's
back.
well, there's more than one. There's the congressman, that dude from Florida, the black Congress guy, who
He's Caribbean.
oh, so that dude's Caribbean too.
He's Caribbean, the Westmoreland Caribbean. So I have a whole list
Oh,
of
gee.
people, high places, black faces in high places. We accept everybody, and we need to find out, because if you don't have an agenda that ties to blackness, then you will buy into serving yourself. And just that quick, of half of the people that you named, half of these people are first generation Americans, first
Well,
gens.
regardless of that being the case, right? Because that I understand what you're saying. Their identity is going to fall into black because that's just what it is.
I want to ask
Like
y'all
you
some.
can't. Go ahead, ask him.
No, I want y'all to finish y'all convo. Matter of fact, go ahead, Chief. I don't want to, because it's actually a good. Go ahead.
It makes a difference. Legacy makes a difference. I can go back to the 1800s. I think you did your lineage too. When you have a different connection, when your folks were actually the slaves, when you don't have an immigrant story, and this is my issue, I don't have a problem with non-black Americans. The issue is this, and this goes to what Shad said. Oh, we don't have a foundation. Yes, the fuck we do. We have a history. We have a story. We have a culture, and we've let people come and water down black American blackness to the point to where you want to put on a kente cloth because you don't understand. You don't understand braids to the point to where they were braiding mats in people's hair to get free. Y'all, like, you disassociate with blackness and you quick to take on anybody else's identity because it behooves you to believe that you belong somewhere else. They want you to feel like you're not American. No, fuck that. We're American. We've been here. We fought in every single war. We have lineage here. We have history here. We have blackness here. And if you need to go listen to somebody, John Henry Clark, you have no friends. So, yes, we don't listen to elders. We don't know our history, but it's not because it's not out there. We are intellectually lazy. And then we allow people to tell us fuck shit. And then when you get somebody that wants to police blackness, then you looked at as the enemy. But I know damn well if I go to Jamaica and I have children there, they still not gonna let me be like, I'm a Jamaican now. No, I'm gonna be an American that's living in Jamaica. Now, my kids that are there will have a different story. But we let anybody come over here and fuck with the blackness because they got
So
black skin. And they don't do
what
that in
about
any other culture.
Cheeky's point? I think here's what I think right now. We scapegoating Tethers.
Nah, we need to tell the
Here's what
truth.
I think. I'm
I
not
agree.
finished thinking and articulating my point.
I agree.
We scapegoating Tethers because we conveniently ignored him mentioning Tatum in the process of having the same type of conversation. We are also behaving in ways, right, that continue to perpetuate the stereotypes. So I just don't know. I understand your point, but it ain't just people that are black but not from here having these conversations, saying the same things or exuding the behavior.
I hear what you're saying, but again, and I really don't think we understand how big of a problem that it is, because
Hmm.
this is a problem. Because even in us talking about us, when they look at black, they're going to say black American. And again, you meet somebody that's Nigerian, they typically will say they're Nigerian. They associate to something different. But when it's time for black things to happen and to benefit from blackness, are we all black? And that hurts and harms us. Who gets harmed the most when blackness is flat? You don't have to exclude people, but you do have to have a delineation because we have a birthright, because we are owed reparations, because we've served this country, because we have a different history. And anybody that's here prior, you hear off the back of civil rights. And that's 1964. So what were
So
all the people doing
Yeah,
previously?
no, I understand the point.
I'm trying to. I guess I'm trying to understand, Tiff. Are you saying we should absolutely separate ourselves from people who aren't FBA? Like, what are you saying as far as application
I'm
of
saying
everyone
that
who's under the umbrella being black in America?
there is a
Hey
delineation.
Tiff, before you answer, remember you told me you work at the Pan African Center.
I did. And I was so here's the thing. I loved working at the PAC and I still will support Sister Quete, which is a Black American. However, if we look at Pan-Africanism, it is very flat. It is one-sided. It is Black Americans doing the heavy load. We don't have one country in Africa where we can say this shit is a hellhole. They welcome us. You're not trying to gouge me out. You're not trying to do anything. I'm going to be there, be welcome, accepted, and loved on. We don't have that. So it is.
I thought it was Ghana. They're like offering
No, you go
citizenships.
to Ghana and they're gonna gouge you. It's many people that don't come back. So again, when we don't want to police blackness and we have to police blackness. You gave a list of 5 different people. Out of those 5 people, and HAMP, I literally started keeping a list because I'm like, why can't we move anything politically? What is going on with Black politics? Half of the politicians, maybe 75%, they're not Black Americans. They have no tie to this land. They do not identify with the struggle. The foundation was here for you, and we are suffering because of it. You can say, I am a Black American, you're a Jamaican,
I
you're
just think
this.
yeah, just
it's
because
overstated.
you don't have to identify with the struggle to stop the propaganda.
So the
No, you don't.
affirmative action was for Black Americans. The Freedmen's Bank was for Black Americans. The
You're
reparations
missing
for Black
uh,
Americans.
you're missing a point that, or you're making a point that no one is it needs to. There's no need for us to identify or be a part of the people to talk about the propaganda of it. Free Palestine is a large movement. None of the people that say free Palestine are fucking Palestinian.
And so we don't.
But somehow, some way, they've unified on a front in their messaging about what they can push and about the propaganda of terrorists. Not all Palestinians, but the ones that did the shit. Even those, they found a way to justify it. My point is, you don't have to. I don't need you to be Black to understand. Hey, some of this propaganda, some of this shit, just take a look at it. It ain't coming from us. There's bots. Actual bots. There are people that are in another country having so much sway on what's being said. There are people within the country. Why and how does this image get determined so easily for Black people? And what is it that we have to do to change it? That's the part I don't understand. We can't. You keep saying to separate but that's not going to change mindset or delineate. Or regardless of what I'm saying is pointing out that is a non-Black or non-African American person that's spreading propaganda doesn't stop the fact that it's spreading propaganda.
But it benefits people when I don't understand.
Let me say this, Tiff. Let me say this. So I think one thing she's articulating is the agenda of those people who don't understand the plights and aren't of the same ethnicity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this might even be a minor example. Let me know what y'all think. Essence Festival. Do you hear all that? They had a jollof versus gumbo or some type of thing. It's like the majority of the performers were African. When if you went to Essence 5 or 6 years ago, that was not at all the case.
Right.
And so what she's articulating is they don't have the same understandings, pushing the same agendas. And so when they get into these positions, they're qualified as Black, and therefore all people who look like them are supposed to be quiet, but then they don't have the same reason for being there or intentions. I'm just using Essence because I saw those changes and it was like, this ain't the same thing.
Right. So even let's say that's the case, because there are people who don't, or who are like, what's her name? AOC is mixed. She's like Afro Latina. She's
Oh,
not.
ALC from New York.
Yeah, from New York.
I thought she was just regular Latino.
No.
I think she's Afro Latina. But either way, the point is, I don't see, like, I name conservatives that have this issue. We're not going to have a problem if somebody who is Caribbean and whatever, who speaks on the plight, we're not going to be like, well, we can't accept them because they're Caribbean. The point is, we can't. If we do this, we're going to be playing a game that I think is a little too loose and dangerous, because now the qualifiers for it, when does it start? So if you got into the United States right at 1960, and let's say your great grandparents were part of the civil rights movements, and you're Caribbean, are we saying you're not black because you're Caribbean?
Yeah, and that's
Right.
it's crazy
And now
because
we're
like you
playing
said,
this purity test that just makes it
Yeah,
harder.
we
when
lose.
because it's the fight. It's like we're always fighting. I think that's one of the fights.
We lose KRS-One.
Just want to fight because when we want to talk about black women and their accomplishments, we will bring up Rihanna, who is not American, right?
I bring up Rihanna.
But this the thing, Rihanna is brought up, of course, because she's a billionaire, right? And the thing about it is, Candace's family, because she's not a first gen, but her family is from the Virgin Islands. That girl's American through and through.
Oh, that's a good.
She's from the Virgin. Her family is from U.S. Virgin Islands. Always has been. That's America.
What about this, Rest too?
What is wrong with saying that we're Black American and he's Caribbean? Like, why is it? I don't understand why. It's only with Black people. It's so weird. When somebody's Irish, you know what they say? I'm Irish. If they're Scottish, they're Scottish. They tie themselves to
No
a
one's
land.
speaking
They
against that.
white.
No one's
Yeah,
speaking
hey,
against
Hell.
hey, guess what? Hey, go, hold on, wait. But what do we say? You're white.
White.
like, so again, the only people that's delineated when it matters is within the group. Everybody outside the group is gonna be like,
So
if Candace Owens said, "I'm not black, I'm Virgin Island, U.S." All the white people gonna be like, "Nigga."
No, they would
Exactly. I was just telling my mama this last night because she have a white grandpa, and she was like, "He's French," and I was like, "He not white, he's French." I was like, "He white, lady. He not black. He white." It just no indifference. You're either
what
black
is
or white,
wrong
and we be real deep on that. Either you black or you white, and we don't really let people do that. So it's like, I just
But I don't-
with that, if they're our allies, then they're our allies. But we can't be fighting against the whole world. If that's we
But
want to
here's
be our own biggest enemy, fighting against the people that look like us, and then knowing that we got to fight against the system in the whole other world. It's like we
This
like.
is okay.
I don't know this. Gotta give up Biggie, man.
Damn it!
Yeah, so all I'm gonna say is many times, Sherelle, you talked about being a pioneer. Sometimes people see it before they see it. Y'all catch up in 6 or 7 months because it's laws already in progress. It's gonna happen, and it's happening for a reason. It just is what it is, and when it happens, you'll figure it out. But there are certain benefits that are specifically and should only be for Black Americans, because you are the same people, we are the same people struggling. You did not immigrate from somewhere else. You don't even get the same benefits that immigrants get. Like,
Okay,
smell it,
so
smell the
so let me
sauce.
ask you. So let me ask you this, Tiff. What about the Haitians that's getting deported? And what about the black people that look like
They're
Haitians?
not Americans.
Okay, that's cool. But you see how Donald Trump's handling the Latino community. So Roos, if he walked too far outside of Home Depot, his ass getting taken.
They're
That's
not
it.
Americans.
Tarus, if Tarus say see, and he's talking about vision, like, do you see? They taking him, and that's a black man. I'm telling you right now.
And which the thing about it is Caribbeans are American, which is why the tether separation shit started happening. Because it was the issue between the ADOS and the FBA, because American descendants of slaves includes everybody who's American, because America is a fucking continent. Just because we're the country who named ourselves after a continent, America is a continent, and those people are from the continent of North America. They are fucking North American. They are American.
I've even said, we normally don't have the same pushback for Caribbean people because we have more of the same experience and it's more tied. However, they're still Haitian. They still may speak French or Patois.
They're American, but this is the thing too. Because if you ever have a conversation with the Haitians, talk about their revolution, talk about them coming to New Orleans, talk about them coming here to help free y'all.
Why are we talking?
But they're dying, and their blood is in the soil. Their blood is in the soil, in the land here, fighting for our freedom. After they fought for their freedom, they came here to fight for our freedom. But you're dismissing that. You dismiss the history of people who came here. A Haitian man founded Chicago. So my whole thing is, those people, when you keep going back and you keep going back, those people was over here helping out too. If you gotta go really in your history, we're all moving back and forth.
Even in this conversation,
people, man, people just was at different points. Be the same people, man.
To focus on Black Americans shows how integrated we are with others. And I'm never going to tell a person don't fly your Haitian flag. We tie Blackness and flatten it only here because Haitians have a beautiful history, and we have New Orleans because of Haiti, and we should be helping Haiti people. However, when we're talking about Black American things, notice how many people we got to bring into the conversation. Well, what about Biggie? Well, what about this? We're talking about Black people, Black Americans. And
because that's the thing. They have always been a part of our culture, and we didn't make these delineations and separations. They've always been a part of our culture. They're part of our history. They're a part of our revolution. We don't have our revolution. We don't have our slave revolts without them. They've always been working with us. They've always worked with our ancestors. They never looked at them in a different way like that. That propaganda that some of them fall for when they come here and they want to feel like they're better than us, you're falling for that same propaganda to make us separate because they ain't treating them no better than they treat us. When they see them niggas, they dig us too. That's why your president could get on there and call their country a shithole country and deport these people and do all of these things. But we want to beef with them. Why? When we at odds with the same people.
A beef, it is a delineation. We can be. So it's a difference. We're talking about collaboration.
Let me say this real quick. So I agree, right? The delineation is okay, right? But when we start using derogatory terminology, it clouds the point of delineation, right? So we understand we're Black Americans, Jamaicans. There's differences in the cultures, dialect. Even the food. We understand we're not one to one, right? But what I know the tether term to be is negative, right? And when we did the tether show, Sherelle was saying we call people tethers that got so much shit to talk about Black Americans, but the Jamaicans that we grew up with, we wouldn't call them tethers, right? Because they going through the similar shit. It's just when they meet eating goat head stew, we don't eat that shit. That's when we don't go to their house to eat dinner, right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody fucking with that shit. And
but y'all fuck with them oxtails.
But then when we eating chitlins, they like, what the fuck is that? Right? Like, so, but other than that, we grow up together. You see what I'm saying? Right? I wouldn't call them tethers, But when we open a conversation with tether, it hurts the delineation and still working together point. You know what I'm saying? And I just think we got to understand that when we having a conversation. But I agree, we're not just the same people. We have different not different origin, but the upbringing, the cultures, are have differences that we it's okay to acknowledge. Let me.
JD, Sean, how you guys doing? Before I get into what I
that man is Haitian. John Baptiste, Haitian man, discovered Chicago. Sorry to break the news to you. He was not French. He's very Haitian.
Tarus?
Before I get into what I really want to say, Hamp, I want to remind the panel that as a multiracial person on this panel, as a Black Puerto Rican, I cannot turn my genetics and thus my lineage on and off like an off switch. I am both all of the time, which means I carry both the history and the lineage all of the time, which means I'm also going to rep for both all of the time, right? My mother being from Puerto Rico, does not take away or add to my dad being from Selmer, Tennessee, McNairy County, the south of the South slave area. Right? I have to carry both.
That shit sound
right?
country.
Let me get it. That's just what I wanted to mainly say to the panel. I cannot turn off my lineage on and off. So I have multiple lineages I got to represent at the same time.
And that means
so
when we you ain't gonna be included.
That's fine. That's fine.
Wait, what'd you say, Tiff?
I can still make the best argument for reparations and everything better than anybody.
I'm sure you think you can.
Wait, Tiff, what did you say? Sorry, I missed what what'd you say?
It's some shit he won't be included in. It's just some things like no, like this is the thing. Like y'all don't want to gatekeep, but we want to gatekeep. Y'all don't want to go to war, but don't nobody want to go to war. You want Black culture to be uplifted, but we don't want to police it. Like we got to decide, is everybody invited or not? Because if not, some people gonna be left outside sometimes.
His daddy Black.
I don't.
That's not what we saying. Till that's you making your argument. That's what you saying. That's not what we saying.
So
you got
my broader argument in the panel.
Like he came up here swinging that when you come up swinging about I operate in both. That's why you said that, because you literally had to find a way to other yourself. So when you other yourself, I'm gonna keep you as other, because nobody said anything about Puerto Rican people. You did that. You brought up I carry two links. So in identifying yourself, you othered yourself. So when you other yourself, that allows me to say when it's Black American time, you get to take a time out.
So you're the one who brought up biracial as a label. I'm simply responding.
I didn't bring up biracial. I did not. I did not.
So anyway, to the broader topic.
Roll it back,
I brought it up, but that's
okay. Well, I'm sorry, but somebody brought up biracial or multiracial as if somehow it delineates. Like, for example, how the Haitians were the main reasons why we even had our uprising.
I'm talking about Black Americans. I don't know why we're talking about.
But we came from the same area.
Literally, we can't talk about Black people business because Black folks don't want to talk about Black people.
And this goes into my broader point of what I really want to talk about, which is the main topic. It is so easy for foreigners to grift off of us because look how easy it is for us to be at each other's throats, right? Because yes, there are the foreign countries' versions of the CIA or whatever doing their ops. We all know it. But what's also true is that, yes, thanks to VPNs, thanks to all these different things, guess what, guys? VPNs work both ways. So all the foreigners, they watching our American shows too. And what's our number one culture, American influence? Black American culture. So they're primarily watching Black American content overseas. It's not even a dirty secret. Here's the reality we just don't want to admit to, is the reality is that our Black American culture cannot be separated from entertainment. We are one of the only demographics where our socialized and entertainment are intertwined. And so it's so easy for some Indian to watch Love and Hip Hop, bring up a couple narratives on TikTok, and bam, now you get a whole bunch of engagement. It is literally that easy. You know why it's hard for the white, and this is just an example for MAGA, him. You know why it's so hard to pin all white people on one specific character or whatever? Because they teach their kids, for the most part, to separate your entertainment from real world. We as a collective do not do that. Shad, you're shaking your head, but what's the worst? Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Y'all get them people too much credit, bro. Y'all get them so much credit, bro.
Shad, here's the worst, and I love hip hop. Here's the worst thing. We as the collective demanded our entertainment industry, our rappers do. Live how you rap. One of the worst things we did was, you got to live about what you're rapping about. Right? It can't just be entertainment. No, you actually got to live that life. We are the only, hip hop is the only genre led by black Americans where you have to live what you're rapping about.
Truce, I got a question, Truce.
What they ain't got to do that? None of the rock bands got to do that.
If they do.
Right? The country boys ain't got to do that shit.
Tarus, what's white culture? Y'all remember Jackass? Y'all remember the Jackass era?
That is part of American culture. Yes, that's part of
Okay,
American
so I'm saying what?
Okay,
It's not unique to black
stop.
people.
We're talking about shot. There are so many different elements, but you know what you can't attach the Jackass to? You have to attach Jackass to the trailer park white people. You can't attach the Jackass to New York elites. You can't attach Jackass to the San Francisco white elites, and you know that. But
You can't attach game culture to the black people living in Hamptons either.
That gender war that you constantly see on black reality TV shows, you can disseminate that to the masses, can't you?
But Mona Scott,
How many people?
The woman that made Love and Hip Hop, you know what she is? Haitian.
Okay, Tiff, the point
Not a black
is,
American.
Tiff, the point is that our media is being used, weaponized against us. That's the broader point, right? Whether it's the KGB or whether it's individual Indians using our culture and then throwing these narratives in there. For God's sake, this is why we're having this conversation. Right? And then the other thing I want to talk about, yes, it's influence, and yes, it's money too, because guess what? The exchange rate, you know how much, let's say you make only like $5,000 a year in America on like a Twitter post or something like that. You all know that ain't anything. How much will 5,000 USD go in India? How much will $5,000 go into a second or third world country? Right? That's paying your bills for months. Right? And by the way, we should all know this, because don't our immigrants come and work here and send the money back home? We know they do that. So why wouldn't they open a VPN, have an American thing in order to have a US bank account and be able to Venmo the money back?
I hear you, but I mean, him just wanted to talk about us, but and we don't have to bring it up, but you see how many top 10 of the red hatters on Twitter, they were in shambles yesterday. Like, the propaganda is propaganda, but we know that, and propaganda has always been that. I don't understand why we allow the worst of us to be the only example, to where, like, yeah, okay, you watch Love and Hip Hop, but that's a reality show. Like, they had teen moms and it was white people on there. It's just, I don't like, that's not black culture. Like, that's not, like, stop flattening blackness.
So Tiff, the Twitter post for MAGA, I want you to understand the difference. We're talking about a political post versus, specifically here, what we're talking about are the fake black profile influencers. That's not political, that's social, that's demographic. That's a different beast, right? You see how you can separate, Tiff, separate MAGA? For example, Tiff, did you see any leftists on there? Like anybody that watches the Bernie Bros? No, it was MAGA accounts, right? I'm sure there was some Bernie Bros, but just the example, guess what? You can't attach some of the leftists to MAGA. MAGA is a specific demographic. Mm-hmm. But the black accounts that are put up there, Tiff, apply to all of us, regardless of political party.
So, and then Tarus, and then what you're saying is why I fight so hard for delineation, because we need to be able to say there is a difference. This is not all black people. This is a specific thing. These are specific people. And I think when people say delineate, you feel as if it's leaving people out, versus saying, I can appreciate my culture and you can appreciate yours. And it's not.
You literally agreed with me when I said we need to be able to separate the entertainment from social life. You literally just agreed.
I did not. When did I disagree with you, Tarus? I said what?
Going back and forth, and I was saying.
No, I said no. When you mentioned Love and Hip Hop, that show was made by a Haitian woman. So when we talk about some of the woes and the worst of things that did not characterize a quote unquote excellence, I question, who did that come from and what is your identity and how do you tie it to a Black American experience? Because a Black American,
that doesn't negate the Black American shows, Tiff. That does not negate.
So are you saying the only Black shows we have are Love and Hip Hop? That's it.
Literally, no. That was just one of many examples.
But you brought it up.
One of many examples. Are you saying there's not? Okay, so Tiff, I'm gonna go back at you. Are you saying there's no reality shows led by a legit Black American doing the same thing?
I don't know because I don't watch them.
Well, guess what? Well, guess what? The foreign people making the accounts, they watch them.
Okay.
Like, come on. They're like.
I just think we still keep reacting to white people's perspective of us. Because even when we was doing everything right, when Birth of a Nation came out in the what? That was like one of the first blockbuster movies in America. And it was being pushed. And we had to react to that, what they thought about us. And this idea that we don't separate entertainment from culture, it's a component of Black culture, right? Rap is one of the factions of Black culture that gets passed around the world. It's one of the most lucrative. It makes the most. It's the most profit.
It's still,
but it's not. But most of us don't know anything about the shit they talk about in the songs. Majority of Black people don't. But we have to like take on their talking points to sound like we're trying to fix the problem. We know that's not the majority of Black people.
The propaganda that gets spread overseas is when XXX Tenacion, I forgot how you say his name, gets shot in his BMW i8. That's what they help use to spread that propaganda. You see what I mean? You keep saying you shouldn't be, you saying that's part of our culture. Well, guess what? They're saying so are the shootings. So are the rap. So are, no. But Shad, what I'm saying is, so some of the solutions should be, we should be making sure we separate, this is entertainment. This is not how we should be acting in real life. Right? That is part of it. And Shad, like it or not, Shad, you live in the United States. Like it or not, Shad, we are 13% of the population, Shad. So like it or not, we always need our non-Black Americans to pass any freaking policy we need to be passed in this country. Do you think we can elect Obama all on our own? Oh, that's right, Shad. You know, rappers can't get rich if they only had to rely on Black American money. They got to rely on white people money too, right? Right? Wasn't that a whole thing 10, 15 years ago? Damn, man, white people are the only ones who actually buy our music. Let's stop. Right, Shad? Come on, acknowledge that.
So yeah, but what's your point though?
So what I'm saying is, Shad, you keep saying, why should we care? Because we live in the same damn country they do.
It's not a why should we care. What I'm saying is you guys overstate what Black culture is, and I'm saying the majority of the times it's a reaction to what white people perceive us as. And I'm saying even when Black people were the model people in America, look how they were treated. So what I'm saying is we can get our shit together, but I don't give a fuck about how other people look at us. Because even when we did everything right, we went to church on Sunday. We went to church every day. We wore shirt and ties in the streets. Those folks were getting mauled by dogs. So what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is, as Black people, we can get our shit together. But I give a fuck about what other people think about us because it doesn't matter. It don't matter, Tarus. It never does.
Yes, it does. It matters when they take that dumbass propaganda energy to the voting booth. What are you talking about?
Cool.
Wait,